Hey everyone, it's Enchanted Izzy and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, as you can tell, new background unlocked. I feel like I'm always unlocking new backgrounds in my videos, and this is kind of like a drum roll surprise because I'm gonna announce this like properly later on, but I'm getting a pet room, which is so exciting. So the background might change in future videos because I am going to be doing more pet videos, which means I'm going to be recording more in that pet room, but I'm very excited for that. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about everything that you should know before getting a hedgehog. Now, some of these things might be a really negative thing and it might draw you away from getting a hedgehog, or some of these things might be like an interesting fact and it might just be like, okay, and you still get the hedgehog and it doesn't really affect you. You know, I feel like this might be like a really good video to see if you truly want a hedgehog or if a hedgehog is a right fit for you, because some of these things, like, you might do all of the research, but I feel like owning a hedgehog is really different, so you kind of learn new things. So we will see. And if you know all of these things watching this video, then a round of applause for you. Now, I did get like an Instagram comment a while ago of somebody asking me to do like a guide video on hedgehogs, and if that's something you guys still want me to do, let me know in the comments, because once again, I would love to do more guide videos, just pet videos in general. But I thought I should do this because I feel like there's so many guide videos out there and they're like amazing, and of course I'm gonna encourage you guys to do your own research. However, I feel like there's not enough videos of people just talking about things you should know. So yeah, also I feel like a proper like YouTuber. Look at me with my ring light and like selfie stick millennial core. Okay, I feel very proper. Okay, let me stop yapping because the video's already 2 minutes long. Let me go get him and let's go over everything. Okay guys, he did not want to come out, so I'm just going to introduce you guys through some videos I have. Also, my nose got extra red because I just had like a sneeze attack and I sneezed like 10 times in a row because I am sick. This is actually my 3rd week being sick, believe it or not. Anyways, so this is Sonic, my hedgehog. I ended up rescuing him through Facebook. Someone was rehoming him and they didn't have the proper enclosure or anything that a hedgehog needs, so I ended up taking him in and now he's living his best life. Now, keep in mind, when you do purchase a pet, any pet honestly, from online, if it's someone rehoming, there is a big chance that they might have not been interacting with the pet as much, so they might not really be used to humans, and that's the case with Sonic. He doesn't really like any interaction, honestly. I'll put him on the floor and he'll just chill with me and stuff, but other than that, he doesn't really like interaction at all. And I feel like the previous owner probably didn't interact with him as much when he was a baby, so now he is just not loving it at all. And also, the previous owner told me he was a female. Come to find out on my own, he is a male. So this is one of my points leading up, is I wouldn't recommend to buy or get a pet from rehoming on Facebook, unless obviously you're experienced and you're kind of prepared for, you know, that. Because if you were really wanting like a specific gender hedgehog, I mean, me personally, I didn't care that he ended up being a male. I ended up changing his name. Sonic was not his original name, but he'll never know. You know, we accept everyone on this channel, so yeah. Anyways, so you just have to know that if you're gonna buy from someone who's rehoming online, that they might not be really interactive with their pet, especially if they're older. And if they're older, it's really hard to break them out of bad habits. Like, for example, if they don't like humans, it's gonna be really hard for them to get comfortable. Like, I'm still warming up to him and it's been months, so please note that. So I do recommend to probably adopt a baby if you can, so that you can raise the baby and it'll be more comfortable with you, especially if you interact with the baby a lot. I feel like that would be a really good thing and more ideal, but I just kind of wanted to include this because that is Sonic's backstory, and I do love my Sonic boo so much. I love my baby. I don't regret getting him at all, but if I were to get another hedgehog, which maybe in the future, I would definitely adopt one as like a baby and raise it so it's a little bit more comfortable with me, because Sonic, he really isn't a people's person, which is okay. Now, hedgehogs are also nocturnal, which is another big reason why he did not want to come out today, because he sleeps during the day and he is awake at nighttime. And that's what nocturnal means. Now, this is a very, very important thing. If you're going to have your hedgehog cage in your room, you have to prepare yourself for hearing them at nighttime, because I do hear him every single night. Now, it doesn't bother me as much. However, since they do need wheels, you will hear them on the wheel all night. And I also do hear him eating at night as well. So you do have to prepare yourself for that. If you are keeping it in your bedroom, you are going to hear your hedgehog every night. And this does kind of lead into my next thing. If you're leaving it in your room, hedgehog cages do stink, okay? I do clean my cage every day. There is a section that I do clean every day with like a pee-pee pad. I change the pee-pee pad every day, and this is where he eats and he drinks water. And when they eat and drink water, they poop and pee at the same time. Yeah. So I clean that area every day, and he also has a litter box that I clean every day. Even with doing that, it still does stink. Now, it's not like that bad to the point where I'm like, oh my god, and it like stinks my entire room. It's just like the cage that stinks, and I do clean it weekly. I clean it every day, like I mentioned. It still stinks. It's just kind of, you know, that kind of thing. It's just gonna stink. So you have to kind of prepare yourself for the fact that they do kind of stink, okay? And, you know, the loudness at night. So now, another big thing is, like I mentioned before, I do clean it every day, which means they are pretty high maintenance. I would not recommend this pet if you're looking for a low maintenance pet, since like I mentioned before, I clean the pee-pee pad that's under like the food and water bowls every single day, and I clean the litter box almost every single day, and I would say that's a pretty high maintenance pet. Of course, there's a bunch of other factors that go into it as well, but hedgehogs are not a low maintenance animal. I wouldn't say any animal is low maintenance, but they are pretty high maintenance. So if you're willing to do that every day and stuff like that, of course, I mean, it depends on how your setup is and stuff like that. If you guys want me to, in a future video, I can show you guys my setup and like how I clean it and stuff like that. But they're definitely not low maintenance, and I'm able to take care of them every day because I do YouTube. So, and I'm able to be home literally all the time and take care of them. So, another thing. Now, this might be TMI, but their poops, they're massive. They are like little dog poops. I'm not gonna show you guys a picture of it because that feels a little weird to show you guys my hedgehog poops, but they are pretty gross. They're not like guinea pig poop or like hamster poop, but I guess that is kind of like a plus. I mean, it depends on how you see it. They're really big poops, but that means that they don't poop as much. So I see it more as like little dog poops. They're pretty big. Whereas guinea pig poops are very little and they poop so much. So yeah, that's like another thing. I don't know. Maybe that'll be like a thing to you. I don't know. We're talking about poop in this video. That's great. And on the topic of poop, hedgehogs, when they're on their wheel, they like to run, poop and pee, and then continue to run, which means they are getting that poop and pee on their paw. Now, sometimes they get like mud boots is what they like to call them, and it basically just builds up a bunch of poop on their paws, and you do have to give them baths regularly. Now mine has gotten pretty good at like not pooping on the wheel, and you do also have to clean the wheel, and I would argue that's probably the grossest part of the cleaning of the cage. I do it weekly, but he has gotten better. He now just poops in the litter box, which is great. I'm teaching him well, but sometimes they just do that. So you do have to give them baths regularly, which isn't like a bad thing, you know. It just adds on to the point that they are pretty high maintenance. Now, another thing is hedgehogs hiss. And I don't know how many people actually know this, because every single time I like bring this up to people, they are so surprised that my hedgehog hisses. And he does it because he's upset. Like I mentioned, he's a very feisty one, but yes, he does hiss, and hedgehogs actually hiss, so that's like a fun fact. So you don't get scared when you get them if they do hiss. They do that, and it's just a defense thing. They are just scared, so yeah. Also, I know you guys are gonna be like, dadoy, okay? Dadoy with this one. But obviously, as you guys know, hedgehogs are very prickly. And they are basically like toothpicks. That's like the best way I can compare it, is their quills are like toothpicks. And they do go like this, like it like shoots up whenever they are trying to defend themselves and they are upset. And this is pretty normal. That's just like their defense, you know, that's what they do. So make sure you get some special gloves or something like that when you are handling them for like the first times, because it will hurt your fingers if you just like pick them up. But once they get more used to you, then you're able to actually handle them with just your hands, and they won't prick up and try to hurt you, because those quills, they will hurt a tiny bit. Now, all of this stuff isn't to make you not want a hedgehog. Like, I wasn't trying to, like, list a bunch of negative stuff. This is just all things that I feel like people should know before they do get a hedgehog. And if none of this stuff really bothers you and you're still like, yeah, I want a hedgehog, then go for it. You know, obviously do your own research and stuff. If you guys want me to do more videos, I would love to do more videos. I'm also going to be documenting me building up the pet room, which I'm so excited for. I can't wait to like show you guys the progress of that room. It's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about my hedgehog. That's everything I wanted you guys to know. I might do a part 2 to this video if I think of more things. But yeah, I'm sorry you guys couldn't see Sonic personally. He's really camera shy. But make sure to subscribe if you guys want more pet content from me.